I'm joined once again by James Vick, who's going to be taking on Francisco Trinaldo at UFC Fight Night 126 on February 18th. James, what's going on? How are you?
What's up, man? I'm good. I'm ready to go and excited.
Yeah, I bet you are. And, of course, you're coming off a huge win. We talked before that one. It was against Joe Duffy. And you went out there and you became the first fighter to win by TKO against Joe Duffy. Could that fight have gone any better for you, especially with how tough Duffy is as an opponent?
No, it went perfect. I mean, it went as good as it could. Got in there, took no damage. Had a rough camp leading up to it, several injuries, and so I had to rest some after because of the camp, not the fight though. So it turned out good. Got in there, won, took no damage. It was great.
What injury did you have heading into that one?
I just had, I always have so many injuries.
Right. You're not like 100%, but I imagine it was a bit more.
But afterwards, I had really bad tendonitis in my knees, like really bad to the point I could barely walk for a few weeks. And it was bad. Basically for the first 3 weeks I was back after the fight, all I did was hit pads, boxing pads, maybe like twice a week. And I never take time off like that unless I'm injured. Like normally I'm back in the gym if I fight on Saturday, I'm back in the gym by Wednesday at the latest, But it's just my knees were messed up and everything, and then I forgot what other injuries I had. Maybe a hand injury as well.
Okay,
always
so
something.
There's multiple injuries. It's crazy.
Always something, yeah.
Yeah, it's never 100%. Now knowing all that, with everything you had to deal with, and then the opponent, and then just the way it ended, like where does that win sort of rank in career moments? Because you've had a lot of big wins, but this one was huge for you.
Yeah, it was a big win. I didn't get the push I thought I was going to get after that win, to me it was another fight. In my mind, I think I'm going to win them all. The camp was, it was sucked. I had some injuries, but I have injuries every camp, so it's not like anything, wasn't anything that I'm not used to, So and from that perspective, it really didn't make it any more special, because just being there at that arena and as big of as an event it was, that's what made it special.
Yeah, for sure. Now, we talked about this before your last fight. I know there's so many people that you want to fight. Were there any actual offers on the table? Because I know you wanted to fight Evan Dunham. I know there's been some other fights that you've tried to set up, but it just seems like they're not happening. And I know you got Trinaldo, but were there any other fight offers in between of, maybe opponents just turning down the fight?
Yeah, for sure. Well, first of all, I didn't really. It's not that I wanted to fight Evan Dunham. The UFC, Sean Shelby asked me to fight him back in the summer. Wanted me to fight him in August. And I agreed, and then he wouldn't take the fight. And now I have no interest in fighting him because he's not. He's ranked, a few spots. He's 3 or 4 spots below me, and he's a 36-year-old journeyman. I have no interest in fighting that dude unless he was ranked above me. And it wasn't like I was just randomly calling out Evan Dunham because I thought he was an easy opponent. The UFC approached me with the fight, But for this camp, for this fight, Kevin Lee and Michael Chiesa both turned down the fights with me, and I can't wait till they try to deny that because I have the text messages shaved. So either Sean Shelby's line or their line won, So if they start to start talking shit, that's the second time Kevin Lee's turned down a fight with me. I'm just gonna release the text, if he wants to deny the shit, But neither one of them wanted to fight, and then they were looking at potentially Paul Felder, but he had to wait. I guess something happened, and he needed to wait a little bit longer. And then he was like, "Well, Trinaldo will take the fight. He'll take the fight with anybody." And I said, "Okay, yeah, that's not a problem. Let's do it." And at the time, it was good because, it still is good. Don't get me wrong. At least he's a top 15 guy as well. At the time, he was ranked above me actually. One spot above me, so it was actually a step up, and at least it's not a step back. Yeah, he's ranked a couple spots below me now because they redid the rankings, but at least it's someone in the top 15 as well.
Yeah, no, for sure. And obviously Trinaldo's got a great record, the 22-5 record. How do you feel like you match up against him in this fight?
He's good. He's tough, and I know people see me doing all these interviews talking about, all these other people and being aware. I'm not overlooking this guy, but I don't think that me being confident in saying that I'm going to win is overlooking anyone.
Of course not. You're just looking ahead. You have to, so.
And me overlooking someone would be half-ass training, which I never do. I always go hard and I'm ready. And he's a tough guy. He's a tough guy. He's won 8 out of his last 9 fights in the UFC, and he won 7 fights. How many people do you know have won 7 fights in a row in the UFC? There's not many people that have did that. So it is super impressive, and he's a tough guy. He's not he's not a punk. He's not going to break, but I think that he has gas tank issues. He has cardio. His cardio has always been suspect, and I think that point wise, like the only way he could win this fight is if he finishes me. Like I'm not going to lose a decision to these guys, and he's known for winning decisions. He's known for going the distance, and I just think that I throw too much volume, and I'm too much of a volume striker to lose a decision to him. There's no way. So, but that being said, I think that I have I have more tools. I have more tools. I'm more well rounded. I have a better skill set, and I think that there's a good chance I'm going to get the finish.
And as far as training camp, has it just been sort of business as usual as far as the same training partners and everything?
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously, I work with Southpaws, this camp, but we have, 2 or 3 Southpaws, good Southpaws here. So I've been sparring a lot with my boy Peter Pettis, and I spar with Ron Stallings, who's in the UFC at middleweights. And then, Pete's a good Southpaw. I've been sparring with him a lot. And then, everything else is the same, training, world champion jiu-jitsu people, DJ Jackson, he's a world champion, 2-time no-gi black belt world champion, and, was a college wrestler also. So, I've got everything covered like I always do.
That's great. And the weight cut, I imagine, still working with George Lockhart, getting down to 155?
Yeah. I mean, it's never easy. I mean, even with George, it's never easy. But, working with George, and he'll be there, and, I'll make weight like I always do.
Awesome. How do you see this fight playing out on February 18th?
I see a couple options. I think that either he tries to, he's not as aggressive a brawler as people like perceive him to be. I mean, he is wild, don't get me wrong, but he will step back and he will counter and he will move and stuff like that. I think that he's going to have to come in on me because I'm so tall that if I get ahead on, landing 3 or 4 strikes and get ahead on points, he's going to have to take chances. And I think that he will take chances. He's not a dude that's going to just give up. I think that if he tries to wrestle me, I think that and puts me on the cage, I think it's going to be his undoing. I mean, he's going to gas out after one round of doing that. If he makes it out of that round, I think my knees in the clinch are better than his. And if he tries to put me on the fence and tries to wrestle me, he's not going to get me down and hold me down. I mean, no one else has, and he ain't either. And I don't think that just like every other guy I've fought, his experiences, he's not way stronger than me like he thinks he is. All of these guys think they're way stronger than me until we lock up and they realize, I'm a 195-pound lightweight walking around. Like the dude's not way stronger than me like he thinks he is. And plus, I notice his strength fades along with his cardio. As soon as his cardio is gone, it's a different story. And I think that he's either going to try to land something big, swinging it, coming in wild swinging, or he's going to try to put me on the cage and, dirty box me and wrestle me and stuff like that. Either way, I think that I have the upper hand on those, and I'm going to win.
Obviously, anyone who follows you on social media knows you like to bet a little bit. We just had the Super Bowl last weekend. Did you put any money on the game at all?
No, I didn't. I'm not a huge football fan, but I mean, obviously, I watch a little bit. But I didn't want to take the risk on it, so I didn't. I like to bet on fighting because I have more specialized knowledge in it. I'm a fighter and I study it as well. And I watch tons of fights all the time, so I have some knowledge and insight on that. The rest of it, I think I don't consider me betting on fighting gambling. I consider me using my specialized knowledge to make a smart prediction. The rest of them, I consider it kind of gambling. And if I did bet on the Super Bowl, it would have been a small amount, so I didn't take no chance.
Is there like an underdog bet you've done recently, like in fighting, that you're like, hey, I called that one and, maybe want some money on it?
There was recently. I just forgot. There was one recently that I made some good money on. I made a couple $100 on, but I remember one of them. It wasn't recently, but on my card, I won some good money on Dillashaw. I thought he was
against Garbrandt.
Yeah, I thought he was going to win that fight, and it turned out good. There was another one recently that I think I won like $300 on or something like that. I forgot who I bet on, and then I lost my ass on Holly Holm.
Oh, you bet Holm against Cyborg? Really interesting.
I went $500 on her. I went big. I just didn't anticipate the Holly Holm or Cyborg being able to walk through those punches like that. I mean, the strikes weren't way different. It's just the power was way different, I just didn't anticipate that. So I was definitely wrong there. And Cyborg was way more technical than I anticipated her being. So I lost on that. I just didn't think that I was half right. I didn't think that Cyborg was going to get Holly Holm down the way she moves. But she didn't have to, and I definitely didn't think that she was going to outpoint Holly Holm, which she did. And, I was shocked. I almost won a bunch of money. I did win some good money on Stipe as well, but I almost won a bunch on him because I bet the fourth and fifth rounds. I bet that I saw the odds. It was like for the Stipe to get a fifth round finish, I would have got plus 2,000 odds. So I bet like $40 on it to win like 400. Or something like that, but I want some. I think a couple $100 on Stipe.
Good stuff, man. Well, we can't wait for this fight. It's a UFC Fight Night 126 coming up here February 18th in your backyard in Texas. It's going to be great. Just to remind people where they can get a hold of you on social media, and if you got any sponsors or shout outs, the floor is yours.
Yeah, my social media is all the same on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. It's James Vick MMA. And, I just want to thank all my team, Team Wood Irvin here in Maryland, where I do my training camps. My team is back home, Ironside MMA, Genesis Jiu-Jitsu, Weatherford Boxing Team. I train at like 5 different gyms back home. Thanks everyone there. My manager, KO Reps, Oren, I appreciate everything, and y'all tune in. All my fans, y'all tune in. February 18th, and I plan on getting a big win, and I'm gonna go hard on the mic, and I'm gonna call some people out, and I'm gonna talk some shit, and try to get some big fights.